Blazar finale here. We've reviewed all the episodes up to 21. This one is going to be covering 23 through 25. 22 through 25. 22 is the only standalone episode kind of here, and then the last three are basically almost like a movie. Those last three episodes kind of play like one goes into the next one, into the next one. So we'll talk about the first one, and then we kind of just talk about the 23 through 25 as just a big one piece there, because it basically
big
is
standalone.
Yeah.
It's a big 3-parter finale. So episode 23 was 22. My apologies.
Yeah.
It was a really cute episode.
Yeah. It's a very
it was kind of like Scarred was kind of in the background on this one. Yes. And
this one
it
basically
follows this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, either. Yeah.
It follows this insurance agent, and the kaiju are just kind of chilling for the first half of the episode. They're kind of just hanging out, and they're Scar's just yeah, we're just gonna keep an eye on them. They're just kind of just there.
Yeah. The episode opens with Red King and Gigas fighting each other, and one of the cool things about this opening is that it's the original music from way back in the day from Ultraman is playing when those two fought back then. So it's a cool throwback. The opening is really cool, seeing the two of those fight with that music. It instantly, I'm like, oh, this is just such a Showa feel. It's I love Showa Ultraman. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. It's comfort food there. So I was like, oh, this is going to be a really good episode. And honestly, this is probably one of my favorite episodes of the season. Like Dan said, it follows this kaiju insurance agent. This, like you said, Scott's yeah, we're going to keep an eye on them. They rose. Basically, this guy is sort of a old school style salesman, and everyone's kind of in the office making calls, and he's got basically no sales. He hasn't sold any kaiju insurance. We even get a kaiju insurance commercial too, which was a pretty funny bit of the show. And
the kaiju kind of look like a gremlin, sort of the head, like an evil gremlin, not Gizmo.
Yeah, they got in the water, got wet. But
I was what's this design?
It was a cool design. I forgot there was some Easter eggs about that design. I forgot.
Well, at the beginning, when I first saw the costume, I was like, something seems a little bit off with this. It seems a little cheesy.
Yeah.
Not something that Ultraman would do. And then it was a commercial.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But basically, he's a loser salesman. He goes door to door while everyone's just making phone calls, and everyone pretty much slams doors in his face. And he finally comes across his older lady, and he goes inside her house, and he kind of just helps her out a little, and she makes him a warm meal, and he's kind of yeah, I haven't had a hot meal in months. I'm eating ramen, and he's
He's being ready to go stuff from the gas station.
She's lost her husband, and she's kind of lonely, and she's oh, it's nice to have this guy around. And he's all right, whatever. He's I'm going to head out now, even though you didn't really need insurance. He's thanks for the meal. And then she signs the contract, and she's his first signing for the month, and he's you don't need to do that. And she's no, I insist. And then he begins helping her out, and kind of doing odds and ends around the house for her, even though she's literally his only client. He's still not making money. Goes back to the office, and that's when the kaiju attack. And she doesn't evacuate. The whole town evacuates, and he's I gotta go help her. And he runs, and she's just kind of chilling in there. The funny thing is he gave her a free helmet, because when you signed up for the insurance, you got a free helmet. And he's put the helmet on, we gotta run. And then at this point, Scar's dispatched, and they're starting to fight the kaiju now. And it gets to the point where Gento's like, oh, I'm going to take this thing out here. And he's about to transform, and then he sees the salesman run by. He's like, oh, there's still civilians here, so we got to lead them away. So he guides them away so the civilians could escape. And, yeah, fight the kaiju. Ultraman wins. And basically, the competitor salesman get in trouble because he didn't want to honor anything, and he was the only one with like a good customer service reception at his job, and he ends up being like the hero of the job. And meanwhile, everybody else that thought they were hotshots, they're like on the borderline of getting fired now for being like, oh,
and he's getting all these new clients because the old lady's recommending him.
Yeah, it was a cute episode.
So,
but
it was very cute. It was definitely one of the cuter episodes of the
It was
series.
very Showa feeling. I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot. You know, I've been watching a lot of Showa Ultraman and trying to finally just finish the Showa era. I'm almost done with Taro. I'm halfway through it, and such a different feel from the modern Ultraman versus Showa, and I like when we've gotten like a couple of episodes this season where it's like, all right, we're gonna make a callback to a Showa episode. We had the Gudon episode. We had this. We had the Garamon episode. They're really good with making callbacks to the classics. And they always do a great job with that. And this one they really nailed it. Seeing Red King is definitely a fan favorite. But yeah, really enjoyed the episode, and it's a nice like lighthearted thing before we get into the heavy
finale. Yeah, I feel like that's what the purpose of this one really was.
Yeah,
it was just like, let's just get this one good story out there, like feel good story. I mean. And then we'll wrap up the series at the end.
Then we'll get them.
And everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So